Good morning and welcome, everyone. First, after unmuting, I'd like to do a bit of housekeeping. Feel free to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. Please be mindful of everyone else by muting yourself while others are speaking. You're welcome to put any contact information that you want to share into the chat. We meet here to share deals, look for deals and solutions we have in need with our real estate. We are not your financial advisors, attorney, or accountants. We do not endorse or recommend any specific solutions or contractors here. You're advised to do your own due diligence to your own satisfaction before you invest. The first Friday of each month is normally Ask the Attorney with Miss Catherine Davis, but like we said, she will be here next Monday. Our meetings are, 2 Fridays. Our meetings are typically recorded, so only share what you want others to know. Goodness.
Thank you, Laura. So that was the last disclaimer of the year. So we can all start off fresh next week. All right. So let's see. Would anybody like to start us off today?
Hey, John. Just want to give you a little update on the beneficial ownership.
Yeah,
they
sure.
did reinstate it, but they extended the deadline till January 13th.
Yes, I seen that. Thank you very much. My suggestion, although I don't have suggestions, is if you have a company, I would just probably go ahead and register it myself. Although if you want to wait and see, like a lot of the procrastinators, sometimes that's the best thing you could do. Sometimes it's not. But you just thanks for that update. And yeah, I'll go ahead and go get the link and put it in there too, in the chat here in a minute. And that's something you're going to want to keep updated on, though. If the thing is too, if you do wait, that's perfectly fine, I guess, as long as the website don't crash. But it only takes about 10 minutes. The worst part, I thought, was getting a copy of my driver's license and sending that to them. And I don't know why they needed that, because they already got all my information anyway. But we see our companies are small and only have a few members too. We just got a couple LLCs and an S corporation. Depending on your business structure, it may take you a little bit more to get that all in line. So yeah, thank you for that update, David. Appreciate it. All right. Anybody got anything they'd like to share with us today? Anybody got anything buy, sell? Let's see, we got a lot of good to see everybody on here. Let's see.
Hey, John.
Yeah, Ryan.
Yeah, I still have my my multifamily for sale in Coffeen, Illinois. We call it South Central Illinois. And I'd love to know, here's my information. I would love to know if anybody has ever been involved in laundromat businesses, because one of the ideas is to split the first floor into an office space for a particular group I'm looking into, and then the other half to create a laundry mat in the area. And I'm looking online for some formulas about how to analyze that kind of business for my area. I know that there's one maybe 10, 15 minutes away from this town. And I think it used to have one, but I'd like to know, what that business is like, and see if anybody else knows anything about it.
Yeah, I think that's a good business, Ryan. I don't know how much you'll need to be, on hand to manage something like that. I know you have a brother that's fairly close. Are you looking at doing this yourself? Or are you looking at having somebody else kind of working with you on that?
Well, here's the good news that I did find out. There's a group out of Kansas City, Missouri. It's called Jets, Jetz, and they, I think, used to manage them, but now the business has changed because of technology. And instead of coins, it's all an app, and the app has lots of positive services I didn't understand before. So the big problems with laundromats, well, the two that I know of, is one, it seems to be a place for homeless to hang out and get some free rent for the night. And then the other problem is managing the coins, right? Going there and collecting your money and avoiding the theft and all that. So this particular app gets rid of the coin problem and that part of the maintenance. You just don't do coins anymore. You just, if you don't have a cell phone, you don't wash your clothes there, And then I think security systems is a good solution for the problem with homeless. The good news about my building is it's like, the police, the office for the local police is like maybe 50 feet away. And that helps with that situation. So I think it's a good fit for my building. The good news about, I think, what I understand about developing a laundry service is it's, basic infrastructure, plumbing, electrical, draining the floor. That's kind of it, real simple to develop that idea. And I think for this particular town, it would work really well. I think especially when there's RV parking in the area, RV spots in the area. So that's what I understand. I'd love to know if anybody in the group, has ever done one of these.
Yeah, I don't know. Has anybody got any experience with laundromats? I think that's a good business. I know it's cash flow. I didn't really think about homeless being there. I don't know what kind of issue you have in Coffee, Illinois. I mean, it's possible there could be a lot of homeless. I don't know. There could be none. I don't really know. That's very interesting, though. I like the idea that you have about the shared. And I'm assuming it's shared office spaces to rent out some of the other spots. Is that what you're telling us?
Yeah, yeah. I found a group that has a lease expiring and the building's getting bought out and they have to move. And so I'm hoping to scoop up that tenant for the front half of my building. I don't think they need all the space. But so I think what I could do is give them a good deal and then lease out the back half of the building of the first floor to do the laundromat, and I'll use those rents to renovate and improve the upstairs um, where the three studio apartments are. And so that's the plan right now. If I keep it, hopefully someone more local. I'm in North Carolina and I'm doing this building out in Central Illinois where I'm from. It's not always easy to work through family, so I'm looking for hopefully somebody who just does this in all over the Midwest and does these kind of multifamily deals and would want to take over my project. I'd certainly joint venture on something if I could, but I own the property, but I just don't have the cash to develop and I don't have the eyes on like I want. And that's my issue with this. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I'd love to, pick up what you guys are doing in St. Louis area and see if you guys have experience in this.
Yeah, I like the idea of your shared offices. It sounds like upstairs though is residential. Is that correct? And not necessarily
Correct.
commercial. Is that right, Ryan?
Correct. And I can't emphasize this enough. The beauty about doing business in small towns, and I don't have the mechanism to exploit all this, but in small towns, you can know the mayor personally, and you can really work around a lot of like regulation problems, inspection problems, and as long as you do good work and you make the place safe, they really don't mess with you, and and then some of these places you see a real vacuum of 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 uh, a real margin really of not of groups of people that aren't being serviced. So these big three federal employers in the area that are within 5 minutes. I mean, big power plant, big coal mine, and a federal prison that's been there forever. All these places are going to have a continued flow of money, continued flow of workers, and they're just not being serviced very well. And I think good conversation with the mayor. Say, hey, we need some retail in this area. We need some way to get these guys, either a restaurant or whatever they're looking for, and see if we can bring income back into the town. So um, there's opportunities like this. Some of these buildings, um, they'll let you do a drive-through, you know, um, in an alleyway. That happened in my brother's building. I mean, they do crazy stuff like this, and they really do well to work with you. There's no like, there's in some of these big cities, and what I dealt with in Chicago was green space rules, right? Where you have to have all this landscaping in the middle of your parking lot. They don't have any of that. They don't have these kind of crazy, civil engineering things. So that's the beauty about working in these places. But I still have some people who have more experience in multi-family development in these small towns.
Yeah, I tell you, I think it's a good thing to be into, Ryan. You've got a unique situation. I know we looked last year at some commercial spots because there's so many in little towns like you're talking about. You don't have the regulations. One of the things we looked at doing was like, and this is with some other people, is another whole story. And that's kind of what you're looking at. That's another whole ball game of getting into stuff. But one of the things we looked at is maybe like a coffee shop. And it was also like a library where people could come and go, but having little office spots. That's why I was asking about if yours was more residential, because what we looked at doing is having office spots where maybe you had the contractors, the roofer, and there's a couple of different things where they don't need a big full office, but once in a while they would meet people. So what they would do is just have a little, like a small office, that they rent for only a couple $100, and you get, 3 or 4 or 5 of them, and that would pay the actual expenses every month, and then have like a group area where they could meet. Like you could reserve that, and you could have, I don't know, vending machines and stuff like that in there, but they could actually meet at a conference table. So if you're meeting customers, you do have an office space instead of going to your own house or just somewhere else. So, there's some reasons people would actually do that, and they have a legitimate business. Residential, though, you have also, like you said, a bunch of major employers, I guess, around there. There's a few of them. So you could have somebody that's looking for, I don't know the size of your apartments there, but that'll also make a difference on who would rent it, whether it's family size, 2 or 3 bedrooms, or if it's single or not. So, and I like the idea also of the smaller towns because you don't have regulations like you do in some of the other places. You're not going to have the inspections. If the deal makes sense, they usually go with it.
Mhm.
And the other thing too is, with knowing the mayor and stuff, you may even, once you get one of the businesses there, you may talk to them and have an open house or something like that. Just have it where you have donuts and coffee or something like that. Hey, come and see what we've done. We've updated the place, and just invite everybody, whether they show up or not. And then say, oh yeah, while you're here, guess what? We happen to have, an apartment for rent. Maybe have one available you could look at, something like that. So you have a lot of options there. I don't know. Does anybody else have any thoughts or anything for Ryan here on laundromats in particular? I always thought that was a good business because it's a cash business, or maybe cashless now, but still cash flow. I don't
Same
know.
idea.
Yeah, same thing. So yeah, would you also? I see you put your contact information in there. Would you like to? Would you like to go ahead and say verbally your contact information? So if anybody's watching a replay, they know how to get a hold of you here, Ryan?
Sure, yeah. The email is r.kaiser@familytimeproperties.com. r.kaiser. Kaiser is Keiser. It's my last name, at familytimeproperties.com. My phone number is area code 630-334-3433.
All right, thank you. That's very helpful for people watching the replay here. So I can't wait to hear what you do with it, Ryan. I know it's a great project. I know it's a little more difficult for you being a little long distance there, but it's also good that you have some people close by. So we'll look forward to hearing that on the inside, this year. Okay, let's see. Yeah, Diana, we were talking about the CTA. You put a couple links in there. Yeah, I know Dave mentioned that we got till the 13th to do that. That's the last I've heard also. I'd say just stay, just keep watching it. And again, it's up to you what you do. The fines are pretty substantial if you don't do it. I know they're looking for people laundering money, and that's not most of us, but that's just something to keep in mind. So, and let's see, we got Jerome. it's your first time, you want to know rules about texting individuals. The way we look at it here is anybody that puts their information in there, feel free to reach out to them because they're giving you permission. We don't just give out, you just give out everybody's information for you to just have free will at, but you are welcome to unmute and say what you do, what kind of value you bring to the group, what you're looking for, and if you have any suggestions, like Ryan just said, if anybody knows about any laundromats or commercial things, you are free to, if you have any experience there, to unmute yourself and talk. So we're pretty open here. It's not that we have anything to hide or anything like that, but you're definitely welcome to come and talk, and that's what we do here.
Thank you, John. My name is Jerome Jackson. I'm a broker, but I do more than just broker and find people money for the projects. I have a large network of business partners and fellow real estate investors who are willing to partner with people on different projects or help them get over that hurdle that they are trying to overcome. So what I can do is just I can post my contact information if that's okay, and if anybody had any questions or anything, they can reach out to me. But this is my first time attending, and it's always great to be able to network with other people within the industry and also to hear some of the challenges that people are facing today. Thank you, John.
Thank you, Jerome. We appreciate that. And yeah, please put your contact information in the chat. Also, if you'd like to say it verbally, we do have people that watch the replays. They're not able to attend live. And that's very helpful. And you're welcome to join us every week. We do have different things come up every week. You never know what you're going to see. People buy, sell properties here on market, off market, and also just look for solutions to things they're working on. Also, you're welcome to come and just listen and learn, because sometimes you don't know what you don't know. I know that's one reason I like coming every week, because there's always something I'm learning here. So thanks for coming, Jerome. We appreciate it.
Okay. I can give my phone number real quick. My phone number is 618-365-5795. It's best to reach me by either calling me or texting me, and I can return with a digital card to anybody who feels free to text me. Thank you again, John.
Thank you, Jerome. Appreciate it. And one of the things, just while we're talking here, I got contacted yesterday by a group of investors out west, and St. Louis is one of the areas they are looking for. So if anybody specializes or even just does turnkey properties is what they're looking for, rent-ready properties. Now, they may or may not already be rented, but they are looking. This is a group of people, and they've got cash in hand. So anybody, and that might even be something, I don't know, we could reach out, Ryan, on your property once you get it ready for what you're doing here. This is something that they are looking for. They've got deep pockets and lots of money. So if anybody would like to reach out to me, please do so. And you can either reach me at my phone number, which is 314-291-1717, or reach out to me on my email, which is ams826. It's Apple Mary Sam, ams826@yahoo.com. And this is for people that have turnkey properties. Either they can be rented or they need, they are ready to be rented, but they are not looking to do any rehab, but they are looking for properties ready to go. So yeah, write down my contact information. They are all meeting in February it's out in California. So I'm just putting the word out there now to try to get together some people, because I know we do have people that come in here that get properties ready on a retail basis. So, and these people have money. If the deal makes sense, they can move on them pretty quickly. So that's just something I'd like to throw out there, and I'll mention it again over the next few weeks. But this is a great opportunity for somebody that puts together properties and is looking to make some money because they're not really interested in doing the rehab themselves, wholesaling or anything else. They want properties ready to go. So anyway, I just thought I'd throw that out there, and I'll put my contact information in the chat also. Okay, anybody else have anything they want to share with us today? I guess I'll ask Dave, did Stacy do any more videos in the last week or so? She was Santa last week.
No, that was last one. She's been on vacation this week, so
Hopefully
yeah,
having some
that was
fun.
fun.
Yeah. Yeah, she does a great job with those. Those are always entertaining. You haven't started that yet, have you, Dave?
What's that?
Doing videos like that, like she does.
No, I leave that up to her. So
I know you've been in them before.
yeah, I try to avoid most of them, but yeah.
A lot of fun.
Before her, I had Jessica who was with me. She used to do them. Not as creative as Stacy though, but I enjoy them a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, they catch your attention and they get the point across. I think it's pretty good way to do things. Would you like to talk about I know you're one of our preferred vendors. Would you like to talk about your service, your property management, Dave?
Yeah, so we're Soda Property Solutions. We're a property management company. I'm a real estate broker, a real estate company, but we specialize in property management. And we are based out of Cape Girardeau, but we have an office in St. Louis. So we cover from Charleston up to Perryville. Then we jump up and cover all around Jefferson County, St. Louis County, St. Louis, in the entire area. We're a property management company, meaning we take over all aspects of your rental property so that you don't have to. You can be an investor and not have to deal with day-to-day issues that come with managing a property. What I like to say is, for the most part, the only time you ever hear from us is that on the 15th of the month, we send you an email saying we've deposited money into your bank account and your statement's available online. We handle everything from getting the property ready to marketing it to showing the properties, finding the tenants, signing the lease, collecting security deposit, collecting rent, going after them when they're late. So again, there's full service property management. And we are just basically here. So this company does not own any property. We only manage other people's properties. And so we have 150 different owners from all over the country, and about 600 units right now. So
wow,
that's what we do.
And what's the best way for someone to get in touch with you guys, Dave?
Best way right now is contacting Stacy, and that's Stacy at sotops.com.
All right, thank you. Appreciate that. So if you're a landlord looking for a property management company, I would recommend getting a hold of Soto Property Solutions and getting a hold of Stacy, who's on I'm sure a well-deserved and well-needed vacation right now, because I know she puts in a lot of time and she's usually here almost every week. So we wish her well. There's a few people taking off right now. Maybe she's with down there close to Catherine Davis. You never know. So hopefully everybody comes back all rested and ready for the new year. All right. Anybody else got anything they'd like to share with us today? Everybody ready for the new year? We only got a few days left this year. And I think today, what was it? It's the 362nd day of the year. That's what I seen this morning. So we're running out of time. If you don't have your goals down, I'd say you better get busy real quick. Okay, and Tony, put something in here. I have 2 properties I'm thinking of selling. Can you unmute yourself, Tony? Would you like to tell us about that? Is that possible? I know sometimes we can't if we're out moving around. Got 2 properties. Let's see, thinking of selling. No mic, okay. Okay, do you have a contact? I'll go ahead and read your chat here. I have 2 properties that I'm thinking of selling after the first of the year is on month to month. I guess one's on month to month. The other is rented till August. What I'd like to know is there better to sell these properties with renters in or out, both properties in South St. Louis? Well, it depends on your buyer. Actually, some people like to have them rented themselves. Some people like to have them already rented. I know, well, Dave, you've talked about that before. Would you like to say anything about that?
Yeah, are they single family? Is that what they are?
Single families, I believe
Single.
so. Yeah.
So there's 2 ways of looking at it. So if it has tenants, it's going to be limited to investors that are looking to buy it. If there's no tenants, then you can sell it. It's just open to anybody who wants to buy it. So that's what you have to think about. How you want to do that. So there's plenty of investors, but that does limit the market because there's a whole lot more people looking for a home. And so and pricing is the same way. So pricing, that's what we have a problem with looking for new properties right now, because the market is so high that it pushes out the investors. And when they come along, it's pretty nice, but typically you're going to find one that's going to need a lot of work or something. But that's how you have to look at it. If you want to sell it, and you want to sell it quick, you need to sell it without tenants.
So if they sell pretty much quicker without tenants, then that's what you're saying?
Yeah, because again, if it's month to month, that's fine because you have one that's month to month, so not a big problem. But the one that has a lease, yes,
I
you're
have
going to
already approved it.
yes, if it has a lease, whoever buys it has to honor the lease. So if they're there till I think said August, then whoever buys has to be an investor or somebody that's just willing to collect rent until August before they can move in.
And your company, Dave, do you prefer to have them, like if you were to take on somebody new, like say somebody bought the property, either one of these properties, would you prefer to have a tenant in place or not?
It doesn't really matter to us. We work with vacant properties and we call them inherited tenants. All we do with that is ask the seller to do to sign and release the lease over to us, and we might ask the tenant to sign a new lease with our terms, or we go with the lease that exists, but once it expires, we'll have them sign our lease.
Mm-hmm.
Assignment of rent. That's what I'm saying. An assignment of lease. That's what we need to do, is make so that it's now our lease. Might be their terms, but we are now the landlords.
All right, very, very good information. And I see Tony, he put his phone number in there, which is 314-307-0799. It's Tony Canovo, and you don't have a mic, but you got 2 properties that you're looking at selling after the first of the year. And if you can actually, excuse me, more details is always better. I know you can't on mic right now, or you don't have a mic right now, but just, how much you want for the properties, what a little bit about them, what the values are, and
What they rent for.
or the more details you can give, always the better off you are. So maybe next week, if you come in, or after the first, when you have them actually ready, when you decide completely what you're ready to do, if you can have access to a microphone, it's very helpful. The more details you can give. So, but thank you very much. And they're both single families. I don't know if I said that too. He put it in there. So, okay, there's a couple opportunities, and if they are turnkey, also you may want to reach out to me, and I could connect you with some of those the investors I was talking about, because these guys are serious money investors. They're looking for cash flow properties. Okay, anybody else got anything for today? A lot of good conversations, a lot of quiet people today. So I guess everybody's winding the year down, which is good. A lot of people in vacation mode, which is also good. I like to see people getting kind of recharging their batteries a little bit. But I think this is a good time for a lot of things. A small group of us met this morning, and we're looking at people. I don't know, in Missouri right now, you've only got, well, a couple more days to pay your taxes. So this is a really good time to look at people behind in their taxes right now. And that's something we're kind of doing. And there's a lot of activity with that right now because that stuff doesn't go away.
Hey, this is Frank Bauer. I got a quick question. So
Sure.
I'm kind of new to the real estate game. I'm trying to get into it. I'm wanting to do like a house hack or something like that, live in the property for a year and then kind of build up my portfolio that way. But with the prices being so high, how do you jump into this thing? Any suggestion?
Well, that's kind of an open question, Frank. There's a lot of ways to jump into it. Yeah, it depends on where you're looking. What I like to look at first is, since you're talking about house hacking and living in the home, see what neighborhood you want to live in first. And one of the things that, one size doesn't fit all. So this is like a big question, huge here. You have to figure out what you want to do, what your personality is, what scope of work you're willing to take on. But I would find the neighborhood you want to live into first. And then I would just drive around, and what Laura and I do, and I just do this out of habit everywhere we go, I look for the rental homes. You can always tell in every neighborhood, I don't care which one it is, I can always almost pick out which ones are the rental properties. Then what I do is I make a list of them down. Let's say, I don't know the size of neighborhood you're looking at, but say you get 5 properties, write down the addresses, then come back home and get on the, whatever county they're in, get on the website and look up their tax information, see who actually owns the properties. One of the things we find a lot of times is what we call the rental properties. They'll have a different address for the taxes of where the people, of what the actual address of the home is, and then kind of go from there. Then you can kind of see if they're a disgruntled landlord, see if there's somebody that's tired, tired of their renters, and even see if it is a renter. Some people just don't have, pride of ownership, and those are good people to, sell. There's a lot of properties that you come across like that. That's the way I like to start if you're looking for a property to fix up or one to, as a potential investment property. Then again, you're going to have to see. And I'd say, look at a property in the neighborhood you want to live in, since this is what you're looking at doing, Frank, because then you'll have an idea, is this even a neighborhood I could afford? And then you're going to look for a discount, something you can get at a discount because it needs work. So it's just a couple of ideas to get you kind of started there, Frank. But there's a lot of good trainings and some of this stuff out there. One size doesn't fit all, though, and it just depends on what you're willing to undertake as far as the scope of rehab, and as far as fixing it up, how long you're going to be there. If you're looking to pay cash for the property, if you're looking to get an FHA loan, if you're looking to get a traditional loan, there's a lot of factors that you have to take into consideration for your own situation. So hopefully that'll help you a little bit, at least to get.
Yeah, that does help a lot. But I'm wanting to put in like 5% down now because I'm kind of limited with the down payment. But that's kind of how I want to start and build up. Would you recommend single families or 2 families or 4 families?
That's a good question, and a lot of people has had success doing it each way. The thing you have to keep in mind, though, if you are doing a 2 or 4 family or multifamily, whether you want to let the people that your renters know that you're the owner or not. Because one of the things I've seen before when people live there is people will knock on your door at 3 in the morning because their kid put something in the toilet, or there's just stuff. You can't get away from the stuff. One of the things that I learned many years ago is I'm not the owner of anything. And that's true. I do not own anything. My companies own stuff. That way, I'm not there at the spur of the moment where somebody's knocking on the door or saying, can you, and I don't have to answer the question right then. Because they'll say, can I want to paint the room purple or green or something like that. One of the things that I've always do, and I do this today, is I say, well, I don't know. I'll find out for you. I don't own anything. And we have a meeting every week. We have a board meeting every week. Our company does. And that is true. And it's usually in my life, it's like every Tuesday at noon. And sometimes the meeting is just me sitting there with a cup of coffee going over what I need to do for the week, but it is a legitimate meeting. Now, some people like to be in the two family and let the other person know that they're living there. And that you know, that's a matter of personal preference. And as far as it just depends on your personality, Frank, whether you want to be the landlord and the person dealing with the things as they come up, or you just want to be in the back collecting money. You know, it just really depends on what you're comfortable with. So, you know, there's no right or wrong. One of the things about putting 5% down is you may qualify for an FHA loan, and you have to live there a certain amount of time. You'll have to find out what the current rules are, but that's a good way a lot of people get into it. VA loan, again, is another one. I've seen a lot of people get into it for their first project, and you have to live there a certain amount of time. Then you can either refinance or you can move after that and still keep that as an investment property. The thing that you have to be aware of, though, with those type of loans is you may not get an investor type loan. Like if it does need some kind of maintenance that, you know, or something, some kind of rehabilitation that is, you know, where the loan doesn't qualify. I know a lot of times people will, you know, with FHA in particular, one of the things when we used to do loans, one of the things that they were concerned with is leaky roofs. And because that's the thing a lot of people walk away from. So you just need to be aware of some of that kind of stuff. Another thing to do too, because one size doesn't fit all, is check with the insurance on what it's going to be for you in particular before you even put an offer on a house, because insurance will tell you a lot. These days they go by your own personal credit score, plus they go by previous claims and things like that, plus zip codes. There's a lot of things that are taken into consideration with insurance, but that'll tell you a lot on what you want to do, at least, you know, with what's available to you anyway, with your investment properties. So that's always a good thing to check with. That's one of the things a lot of people leave out. I know in Florida right now, there's a lot of people walking away from their properties and they're selling them for nothing. There's people you can get free properties from in Florida right now because the insurance has either been canceled or they can't get it, or it's went up so high. There's also the associations. I know Laura and I, we got hit with another special association here in Weldon Spring with the condo we have. But there's ones down in Florida. We just seen that one that was $40,000 a piece that down in Florida. I mean, that right there, that's a big concern, because not only do you have your ongoing monthly homeowner association, but you have that also. And that's another thing, Frank, that you need to look at for any neighborhood you're living in or that you're looking at buying, is if it is an association, is that something you can rent after you move out, or is that something you're going to be concerned with? What's the history of this specialist? So, you know, these special assessments, because that's a big deal right there. I know we had like one of the condos, one of the buildings, they had a fire, and then they had some big claims and some other ones, and everybody got hit with these special assessments. And that's something, you know, besides the $500 a month, if you get $5,000 or $10,000, you got to write that check out for. You need to be concerned with that, because there's always money you need to put in reserve. And one of the things with an investment property that a lot of people miss is reserve money. I know Vina Jones Cox talks a lot about that kind of stuff and some of the stuff with the STLREIA that she has, but you need to have maybe $10,000 to $14,000 put away for each unit that you have. Or they call them doors now, but like if you have a 2-family, you might need double that. If you're living in one, you may not need as much, but that's always something to consider also. So hopefully we gave you a couple of things to think about there, Frank. I don't know if
yeah, no, that's a lot of great information. No, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Certainly. And always tune in here too. You can ask any questions or just come and listen, see what other people are doing. That's what a lot of people do, is they just come and we just listen each week. I know I take notes every week, and I go back to, you know, because you can get, it may be, you know, even referrals. It may be something you don't need right now, but you may need a tree trimmer or a plumber or something down the road. And this is where you get a lot of that good information to who people are using locally.
Thank you.
Certainly. All right, a lot of good conversations. Anybody else have anything they want to talk to us about today? I see, Tony, you put your email address in there too, and I'll just read that off for anybody that wants to get a hold of Tony. It's tcannovo@gmail.com. And he's got a couple of properties coming up after the first of the year, single family properties that he's interested in selling in South City. So maybe next week you could come on and tell us a little bit more detail. That'd be great. All right, and the CTA, thank you, Diana, for bringing that up too. Yeah, that's something that they say we don't need to file. They extended, I know that, to the 13th. We'll just wait and see what happens out of that. I don't know. It seems like every other day they're bringing up something new about that. So just be aware. All right, anybody else? Okay, I guess we could call it a day. This is glad everybody's here. Thanks for coming in for our last meeting of the year. We will have our first meeting of the year next week. So anybody else has anything they'd like to say? This is a good time to mention it.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Bruce.
Hope everybody's safe. Stays away from the nutty drivers out there.
Yeah, this is a good time to be safe, be on vacation, do whatever you got to do, wrap up your year and get ready for the next year. Hopefully everybody's got a pretty good idea what they're doing next year. This is a good time to set goals and reflect on your accomplishments from 2024. So thanks for coming in, everybody, and we'll see you next week. Bye now.